Hello and welcome back to Drift. We did a couple episodes of this before, but we ran into a bug, and this is early access as you can see. And the bug kind of prevented us from moving forward, so it kind of stopped the series where it was at. But there's been updates since then. The bug has been addressed. I've played through and had no problems since then, so I decided to bring it back and start our playthrough. We will have to start episode 1 all over again. We need a new save file, but we should be able to cover the ground of what we've already done pretty quickly. So anyways, without any further ado, let's get started. So we are going to not do multiplayer, we're going to go offline and start up. Day 1, drifting above an unknown planet. So first things first, we're going to just deconstruct the broken pieces of our ship around us, and that's going to give us some resources to start off with. The game wants you to start off by grabbing the floating asteroid that is right here. You're supposed to do that first, but we just want to kind of get started and, like I said, cover the distance of what we did before. We, of course, are going to leave the broken lamp, the flickering lamp. I like the ambiance of it. So just kind of reacquainting myself with the controls. If you press C, it will show you the resources around you. That's what those little squares are. And then the tab was our inventory that you just saw right there. We crushed an asteroid to gain its resources. And now we're going to just try to see what we can do with what we have. Extend out our platform a little bit. Give ourselves a little more room to work around with. And then now we're just going to go out into the asteroid field and collect whatever we can. We have to get close enough to press E to collect them. At the very beginning, you're limited by a lot of your technology and resources. We're currently using our oxygen to maneuver around using RCS thrusters. And so, running out of oxygen would not be a good thing. As you can see, there's tons of asteroids and small meteors in this, and every single one of them has resources, either directly by being silicon or iron or whatever, or larger asteroids have caves, and inside those caves you can find even more resources, more advanced stuff. But right now we're just trying to go for the basics and just try to get ourselves back to where we were before. So all these things move at different speeds and can be really disorienting sometimes if you're not aware of how fast something is going or how far away from you it is. And you can easily find yourself chasing a small asteroid. You know, it's going away from you and you're closing in on it, but not very quickly, and you end up going very far away from your base that way. As you see there, sometimes you just gotta pick your battles. Pick what's important to you. But also sometimes, just collect along the way, because in the early game, you kinda need all that you can grab. So I bring up my build menu, and I'm trying to get some of the first things started, and we're going to need a smelter so that way we can start making oxygen. And oxygen is going to be how we get around for the time being, as well as, keeping ourselves alive, but more than that, it is our propellant. And I saw a little wrench icon down there that is going to be our next objective. We have to make sure that we stay on top of those advanced materials, or the special beacons, so that way we can gather all the resources while they're available. Because sometimes, I believe this bug was addressed as well, but sometimes those things can disappear off your map and be very difficult to find after that. So right now I'm just rushing out, grabbing what I can. I'm going to need to make a bunch of oxygen soon, and that is going to be the carbonite. And when I say oxygen, I do mean carbon filters. That is the name of the actual item. There we go. So we go ahead and use that, and fills up our oxygen bar, the top one on the lower left. And once more, we're going to extend it out to give ourselves room for the crafters that we're going to be making soon. And just chasing down asteroids. This game can be pretty peaceful sometimes, as you're just going out and getting resources. A little bit less right here in the beginning, because you know you're balancing how much you can travel with how much you can, you know, potentially live, and you can very easily kill yourself by just traveling too far. But once you get some propulsions and stuff, you get yourself some batteries, a tractor beam, kind of get yourself into the main portion of the game, which is what we're going to kind of do by the end of the episode. But once you're in that area, it can be very peaceful, just listening to music as you go along, searching, trying to find some materials, looking for caves of unusual sizes. Alright, so now we're gonna make another smelter. But I did the wrong one here, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. The smelter, the standard smelter, is a little bit higher than the dark smelter. So split half my ice, turn it into water. And let's look for some copper. Oh, went right by it. That's the downside of having to just grab it, as you can easily miss it. And there goes my oxygen. Like I said, you could just boost your way through the space and use up all your oxygen before you even realize it, and then just die out there. Luckily, we were just tracking down some asteroids in our nearby area and not going towards that little wrench icon out in the distance, so pretty quick to grab our stuff. Yep, now I'm heading towards that wrench in the distance. So the faint signals here will have materials that are going to be very useful to us, as long as we can survive getting out there, rendezvousing with the asteroid, and then getting our way back. This one's relatively close and seems to be coming towards us, so it's going to be a lot easier than some of the rest of them. So we're going to just fast forward time up here until we get a little bit closer. And then you have to find this little piece of a wrecked ship. and that will have things like microprocessors, batteries, and advanced steel. Advanced construction materials? I can't remember what they're called. But yeah, so we've got quite a few right here, but I think that's the only one that we're going to be able to get to safely until we get propulsion systems. But that doesn't stop me from trying. So here I go, utilizing my carbon filters and just pushing my way, easing my way towards it. My little pick bouncing away in the right hand corner, just trying to pull myself forward as I push forward. The day ends, and it's now day 2 orbiting, and I have no more oxygen, and I was not able to rendezvous with the craft, and now I have no idea where my ship is. Oh, there it is, all the way over there. And I'm not gonna make it, and it turns out these asteroids are heading away from us. We were chasing them down in futility. So now we're gonna have to kind of regroup, get some more carbon, get some more filters, and go get our stuff, because we have some great stuff right now. I can't afford to just give up on it. If we were to give up on it, though, that's fine. The marker will stay there. The stuff will stay there. So far as I know, there's no despawning mechanic for your stuff. In a previous game, in my own personal playthrough, non-YouTube or whatever, I used one of my dead body spots as a marker, a makeshift early beacon. So I'm just crushing up some carbon, and I'm splitting the stack and making both of them produce it, thereby making it produce just a little bit faster. So here I am, stocked up on carbon. I have more than enough to get myself to where I need to go, and hopefully the question is will I have enough space to carry back all my stuff? Well, that's kind of the good thing about carbon filters, is you end up using them, so the longer you're out, the more space you end up freeing up. And we are going to be just trying to maximize the efficiency of our carbon filters. So sadly we get this little vignette fade on the edges of our screen when we're low on resources like oxygen or food. And it's quickly remedied by taking a carbon filter. And once again, we're just pushing our way towards our body, or suitcase, as it would be. Collecting anything that's directly in front of us. And here we are. Yeah, so these advanced materials and the microprocessors are too valuable to leave floating out here. If I just had some asteroids on me, or, you know, some raw materials like iron or whatever, then I wouldn't make it a priority to go out and get my stuff. But until we can unlock the ability to create our own advanced materials, it is precious, precious resources. And once again, we are back. It is a joyous feeling every time you go out on a mission, and or not a mission, but, you know, going out on a quest to find materials, coming back and landing on the platform you have built is a great feeling. Right, so now that I have some materials, I'm going to build myself a crafting machine. Put it right there. And a second one. And then of course we're going to need a floor right there. Extend this out a little bit. And while we have it, let's just make some wires and plates, because those are going to be useful very soon. And something we're gonna work on a little bit later, but I just kind of want to explain the mechanic, is you'll see some of those bigger asteroids up there. Those are also made of materials like iron and silicate and carbon. And we can actually go out there and mine those as well. We don't have to be limited to grabbing asteroids that pass by us or that are nearby. We can go out and seek out specific materials. And so say we need a bunch of iron, rather than searching for iron and just capturing whatever one is nearby, we can go and play around and find the right asteroid, because the asteroids only have one resource. So if we find an iron asteroid, we can get hundreds of iron from it. So that'll be something that we can do. And I'm missing the resources for this. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm wandering around as if it can't place, but nope, it's just because I'm missing the resources. There we go. Now it's in green. And so we're gonna flip it around until we're pretty sure that's the right direction. And then we try to put it underneath the light, so that way it can be illuminated. And there we go. And so that is our research station. And we're gonna be able to unlock a lot of stuff, a lot of features, a lot of gadgets using this. So here we're going to take a quick look at it. The tractor beam is going to be our first objective. You can do any of these first. The one on the left is just about base building and ship expansion, but the one in the middle was propulsion suit, so you don't have to use RCS anymore. And the tractor beam upgrades your grabbing ability, so we can start pulling these asteroids to us instead of chasing them down. Love it when you can get just a good cluster of materials that you need. And now I am out of food. My hunger meter is completely at 0%. And so I'm going to have that vignetted, darkened outer edge for a while now, until I end up taking care of it or die again. But so I apologize about that. In later episodes, because I have recorded a couple sessions of this so far, wanted to make sure that everything worked out before bringing it as a series, and I'm happy to say that it does. So, but in later episodes, I pay more attention to that, because as of right now, there isn't any mechanic to the hunger. You don't end up dying. There's just nothing except for the vignetted screen. So I don't really pay attention to it right now, but in later episodes I decide to take hunger in as if it was a working mechanic, and when I get too hungry, I feed myself, and that way we don't have to deal with that screen. So here we are. We got our 3 smelters, and pretty soon we're going to have our 3 crafting stations. And we are going to have the materials necessary for our tractor beam. So we're making quite a good bit of progress. Chasing down some ice now. Yeah, in this early stage of this game, I think I call it the Asteroid Chaser stage. You're just wrangling asteroids. And that stage is kind of up until you have the tractor beam, the propulsion system, and I would say the basis of your base, where you have a stable set of oxygen and batteries being produced. So here we are. We are now researching the tractor beam, so in a couple minutes it will be available and we'll be able to build one ourselves. So early on, this game is going to be a lot of chasing stuff down, like I said. Once we can build up our abilities, we can just take a day, and we are going to take a day, and just chase down all the resources we can and load up all of our storage, the storage that we will eventually make. But we load up all of our storage with pieces, so that way we can kind of focus on building and unlocking stuff. And we can make our ship a habitable, nice place. There are decorations and different lighting effects. This game has a lot of different pieces for customization, and I kind of like that. I'm looking forward to expanding on my design that I did in the last series, as well as my own personal playthrough. So here we are. We're going to unlock the suit propulsion now. So that's nice. Something we can work on soon and get out of this wrangling stage and really start getting into the bulk of the game. But yeah, I'm going to try to differ my design from the ones that I've done so far through my playthroughs of this, and make something a little bit bigger, something a little more lavish, have decorative areas, because typically when I play games, survival games, my bases end up being super utilitarian. You know, just the bare bones of what we need, everything smashed into a small space. So, which is nice, it's doable, but sometimes you want a little bit of beauty in there. So we're gonna get stuff. We're gonna make potted plants, because there's alien plants to be found. We're gonna make different lighting areas, seating areas. We're gonna have a little welcome stage, a landing zone. It's gonna be fun. Hope you're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. This game is really fun to play. Once again, it's Drift. It's on Steam. You can get it on Steam. It's in early access right now. If you ever want to know what version I'm playing, you can see that in the top left corner. You can see the version number as well as the date that the version came out, which happens to be the same thing. Alright, so now it's time to work on storage. I'm gonna need a place to keep all the items that I end up pulling in, and so we're gonna take this little spot here. Whoops, I put that backwards. Take this little spot here and put in things. So we've got silicate, carbon, iron, copper, and ice. So I don't like the way that this was set up, so I'm just going to go ahead and destruct that. You get back all the resources for when you destruct something. Destroy something. It's called destruct mode, but you get all the resources back, so you can basically just destroy something and then put it exactly back where it is. The only time you can't do that is if your inventory is full and you can't accept the materials that it breaks down to. So I have one chest for each of the raw materials that we get, but I'm also going to need a chest for all the created materials, the things like the pressed iron, the iron sheeting, or the copper wires. Let's go ahead and get our third and final crafter in there. I think we can do everything we need to do with 3. I don't think we need to build a hallway of them, but who knows? We will see as we get down into the later game. We'll see what kind of efficiency we want. So now I'm putting in for the iron plates, the copper wiring, the ice, the bottles of water, and the, what are those called? Those chips that are in the top left corner. But then we're also going to need storage for the exotic materials like the microprocessors. Oops. We are missing material. Let's just go out and get a little bit of that real fast. And sometimes you luck out and there's a bunch of the materials you need right around by you, but sometimes you have to really look around for it. Like there's one there, and there's one there, but other than that, there doesn't seem to be a lot on this side. There's one over there. This isn't carbon, but it's in our path, so might as well grab it, right? Oops, we need to crush our asteroids. Just because we collected what we needed doesn't mean we have it yet. There we go. So yeah, so like I said, we need for our microprocessors and our advanced materials. We need stuff for crystals and a box for plant life. We're gonna need more boxes than that, but that is a good start. That's going to get us everything we need. And now let's put a box by the crafters for materials. And I glitched it out somehow. I'm not entirely sure. I've tried to replicate it, but I couldn't. But I was rotating it while pressing it and moving my mouse all at the same time. And that resulted in that. So that's fun. I'm just going to leave it right there. So now I'm going to just take a second and put away some stuff. So first is silicate, then it goes to carbon. I like to have iron in the middle always, followed by the copper, and then water or ice at the end. And then we're going to put in our advanced materials and our microprocessor. And then in here, or in the second one, we're going to put copper wiring. And then right there, we're going to put the silicon chips. That's what they're called. I'm gonna make a little bit of a carbon filter so I can just kind of store this set of 3 carbon in there, and then I'm gonna put away our bottle of water. But anyways, that is I think we've got a good start. We've got the beginnings of our base. We've got some research to work on in the next episode. We've got all the smelters and crafters we need and a bunch of storage. So that's where I'm going to leave today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward to more Drift. If you did, please consider giving me a like, drop me a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.